All right, awesome. So let's get started. My name is Elizabeth Milano, and I'm here tonight to welcome you all to new student orientation here at LaSalle University. We are very excited that you all are here. And, as we go through the presentation, please feel free to ask questions. That is totally fine. We want this to be really valuable for your time, but we will also allow time for questions at the end. So the first thing that would be great is if you could just put into the chat your name, where you're from, what program you're starting, and what you are most looking forward to in or about grad school. All right, so that chat will be going as we go, so we can move forward, but please remember to do that if you have the chance. So I just wanted to start by introducing our team. So the first slide is our administration, and originally I was going to go through person by person, but our team is growing a lot. So I think for the purposes of tonight, I'll kind of just touch on a few people. I definitely want to point out Crystal Porter, who is our Vice President for Enrollment and Marketing. I also want to point out Lynn Chelly, because today is her very first day, and she is our Dean of Graduate and Professional Studies. So we are very, very excited to welcome her to the team. Another person that maybe you have worked with is Tom Hurley. He's the Director of Enrollment. He actually became the director within the past month. So you might have worked with him even as your enrollment counselor, and now he has been moved up to the director. Many other wonderful faces, and we'll upload this presentation to YouTube, but we can get to the meat and potatoes and skip all the names tonight. Okay, so this slide I will go through. So your enrollment counselors. So all of you were lucky enough to work with an enrollment counselor. Tonight we actually have Candace Obratzev with us, which is so great. If any of you have worked with Candace, you are super lucky. Candace is the Senior Associate Director of Graduate Enrollment. So she really leads the team. We have Mark Gaffney, Associate Director of Graduate Enrollment. And then Laura Moreno and Siobhan Coleman both started in November as our Assistant Directors of Graduate Enrollment. And now here's the advising team. And kind of just to talk a little bit about this sort of transition. So all of you until this point have worked with an enrollment counselor. They're called your enrollment counselor because they really do help you, throughout your program. But you all received an email introducing you to your advisor. So from this point forward, your enrollment counselor is still here. They're not going away. But now your advisor is kind of stepping in to fill that kind of first person that you turn to role. So the advising team, there's myself, the director, and Caroline Lynch, the Assistant Director of Graduate Student Services and Advising. Caroline is here tonight. Thank you so much, Caroline. She made this PowerPoint. She is absolutely a whiz at all things graphic design and marketing. Centoya Simmons is also here tonight. We're so glad she could join us. Centoya is our newest Assistant Director of Graduate Student Services and Advising. And then Amanda Barba in the middle. She's amazing. She's another assistant director, but unfortunately, she was not able to be here tonight, but you will be very lucky if you have a chance to work with Amanda.
Okay, so along with all the great PowerPoints and presentations that Caroline does, she also works with our Facebook group. So if you guys can go follow us, go add us, and learn more information about the events and the programs that we have going on. It's a good resource for you to get involved with the community and be a part of our graduate community. So for the advisors, myself, Caroline, and Amanda, we have some drop-in sessions. Each month we have a drop-in session, well, 2 drop-in sessions, and we try to stagger the times to make sure we're accommodating students and, work schedules and things like that. So maybe you might want to take a picture of this, but we'll also be sending out messages to our advisees to make sure you guys are aware of the times that we have here for you. And coming up next week, we have one of our first events of the fall semester with library services, Anna Sarnesso. She's amazing. If you need any resources, learning the library resources, if you're around to be able to come to campus, but more importantly, being able to navigate online services, Anna Sarnesso is amazing at making sure you have all the resources you need to be successful in your academic career.
I would definitely recommend going to this one. She's going to cover a lot more than you would think she would cover, talking about the library.
Sorry, just had to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. So there are essentially 3 different ways that you can take classes at LaSalle. So the first one is taking the full semester hybrid or on-campus blended. And basically the way that works is the classes meet over the course of the entire 15-week semester, 1 night a week, every other week from 6:30 to 9 o'clock at night, and it's complemented with online coursework. So for example, say that you were in a class that started on Thursday, September 9th. You'd come to class, to campus, Thursday, September 9th from 6:30 to 9 o'clock at night. You would not come Thursday, September 16th, but you'd come back Thursday, September 23rd. So it's 1 night a week, every other week from 6:30 to 9 o'clock at night, and the courses are complemented with online coursework. The online coursework is asynchronous, meaning that you can access it 24/7 whenever it's convenient for you. So whether you're logging on at 1 in the morning or 1 in the evening, does not matter. As long as you're meeting the weekly expectations of the course, it's fine. The 8-week online, that's pretty straightforward in that it's 100% online, 24/7 access, and asynchronous. And the way that the courses are structured is it's weekly modules. So as long as you're meeting the weekly expectations of the course, you're fine. The only exception is if you're taking an 8-week class for the Master of Education program. So the Master of Education program, a lot of the classes at the beginning are 8 weeks long. And instead of them being only online, they would meet usually 3 times during the 8-week term. The class meetings are given ahead of time so students can plan. They come to campus from 6:30 to 9 o'clock at night, and the courses are complemented with online coursework. And there are some courses in the Master of Education program that have observation hour requirements, and certainly your admission counselor would let you know that up front so that you can plan. And you'd also have the opportunity to meet with your advisor to go over that in detail as well. The 2-week intensive is just what it sounds like. It is intense, but it's definitely possible to do. And those run for existing students only. So not new students, but existing, because frankly, we want to make sure that students are very familiar with Canvas, which is our online course management tool, and know what it is to be a student here at LaSalle. And they typically run from the beginning of January to mid-January, 2 weeks long, fully online. There are some courses that sometimes will have course meetings on campus, but again, that's told to people up front. But it is 2 weeks. It is possible to work and still do it, but you would need to have excellent time management skills. Any questions on that? Okay. So the academic calendar. So for students that are taking classes that are 100% online, or if you're a Master of Education student and you're taking a course starting September 9th, or actually even if you're taking the fall main, meaning you're taking the course in the on-campus blended format throughout the semester, first day of classes starts September 9th. All of your classes should be open in Canvas now, so you can jump in, feel comfortable, look at the syllabus, start working on your course. The add drop date for fall 1 courses, meaning the courses that start on September 9th and end October 29th, or the fall main classes, which start September 9th and finish in December. The add drop date is September 13th, okay? The course withdrawal, last day to not get an F on the transcript, but simply a W, would be October 8th, and October 29th is the last day of session 1. Any student that's on this call, if you haven't already done so, I really highly recommend, if you're taking online classes, to register for your fall 2 courses now, simply because to ensure a personalized learning environment, we do cut classes at 22. And so if you register now, you can solidify your spot. So the classes for fall session 2 start on November 1st, and those classes go through December 21st. And if you are taking if you decide to add or drop the class, November 3rd is when you could go ahead and do that. Does anyone have any questions about that? This year, the first day of the winter intensive is starting December 30th instead of January, so that's new. So you can, oh, by the way, if someone is using financial aid, you can lump your winter intensive courses into the spring semester. And Tom Hunt is the gentleman that helps all the grad students with financial aid. So if you ever have questions for him, he's phenomenal, very knowledgeable, and very responsive by email. He could be reached at thunt@lasalle.edu. So THUNT @lasalle.edu. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Candace. So the next slide just, reminds you that we are in this together. You are the one who's going to have the degree at the end of the day, but you're not alone. You have the Academic Achievement Center, which does tutoring. They have professional writing tutors who can help with your APA style or the structure of a paper. They have learning specialists who you can talk to about time management with a full-time job, and a bunch of other different topics. And there actually is somebody who works in the Academic Achievement Center who got her MBA here at LaSalle, so knows exactly what it's like to get the degree at LaSalle online while working full-time. There's the Brennan Library, which we will have the event for next week on the 14th. The Center for Career Readiness, which you have access to throughout your time as a grad student. So if you ever want to, prep for a job interview, go over your resume or cover letter, you can absolutely schedule an appointment. They do that all virtually. Then financial aid, student accounts. Candace mentioned Tom Hunt and financial aid. If you have any questions, just definitely go to them. Same with student accounts. If you ever have a question about payments, reach out to us or reach out to them. The registrar's office, can help with just making sure that your account looks correct, your academic plan looks all set. And then the last 4 bullets are really, your friends, your coworkers, your family, and your peers. So again, you're the one who's getting the degree at the end of the day, but these are all people who affect your life, affect your time management, affect your calendar. And so it's good to have them in your corner, at least knowing, what your commitments are and how busy you're going to be. And so next we have a short video that is going to introduce the Academic Achievement Center, the Career Readiness Center, and the library. So we're just going to watch that for a couple of minutes.
With the Academic Achievement Center, with our individual tutoring or with our small group tutoring or study groups, we're fostering a welcoming culture of inquiry. We want students to dig deeper. That's our academic culture here at LaSalle. And so there's always something that you can learn or push yourself even further to get to that next level. So our supports really are for all students. Like I said before, we meet students where they're at. Whether they need help with time management or organization, help with the learning process, brainstorming, outlining, taking a look at drafts, helping them to edit their papers, or really digging deep into the bigger picture. Is there something else that they can do with their research to take it to that next level?
Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Orlando and I work in the Center for Career Readiness alongside Donnell Turner. Our offices are located in the Edwards Student Center on the top floor above Valentine Dining Hall. We're happy to help and support our graduate students in a number of ways, including exploring, identifying, and or refining your career paths and goals, developing a job search strategy, preparing for upcoming interviews, negotiating job offers, and enhancing your resume and cover letter. Additionally, we offer a variety of resources to assist you with the internship and full-time job search, including Handshake, which is the Career Center's innovative recruitment and career management platform for LaSalle University students and alumni. If you'd like to meet, you can email us directly or schedule an appointment using Starfish. Welcome to LaSalle. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Hi, I'm Anna Sarniso, the Library Director here at LaSalle University. Welcome to Brennan Library. We're here to help you with all of your research. If you'd like help, there's the two best options to reach us are going to lasalle.edu/library. That's our library website. You can find contact information, our research guides that we've already created for you, and Laser Search, our one-stop search of most of our resources. You can also email us at library@lasalle.edu, and any librarian who's available will answer that email to start helping you right away. Please contact us and visit our library website if you have any questions. We look forward to hearing from you. Welcome to LaSalle.
Thank you, Caroline. So the next thing that we wanted to talk about, and we'll touch in more on resources, but we're kind of transitioning now into what we call the big three. So there's My LaSalle, Self-Service, and Canvas. My LaSalle is kind of like the mothership where you find everything. Pretty much anything you're ever going to use, you can find on My LaSalle. It's just www.mylasalle.edu. I think it's my.lasalle.edu actually. I've typed it in so many times that my computer just recognizes it at this point. But when you go to My LaSalle, along the left-hand side in the quick links, and Caroline has a little thumbnail of it, there's links to pretty much everything you could possibly need. There's a link to self-service, which you use to add and drop classes, view your academic plan, etc. Caroline will get into that in a little bit. There's a link to Canvas, which is where you actually go to do your class. There's a link to Office 365, which is the fancy term for email. So that's something that I would not have known. So please just take note, Office 365 means email. And then also other things that we really wanted to make available to you in one space, for instance, COVID-19 updates. Those are all over there in the quick links in My LaSalle. Other things that you can find in My LaSalle. In the academics tab, you can find the GPS course offerings for the fall. And that's where the schedule gets really in depth too. So like, for instance, if you're an education student and you want to know when you come to campus for your classes, you can look at the schedule on My LaSalle, and it will have right from the beginning when you sign up for that course, every single time you're expected to go to campus, so that you can plan in advance. And Caroline just included in the chat that link if you would like to go there and sort of explore as we talk about it. The other thing you can find in the academic section of My LaSalle is the course rotation. That lists every single class we offer at the graduate level and when it's offered. Because not every class is offered every semester. So if you're trying to go through the program in about 2 years, which is like the average sort of pace, the course rotation isn't as important. But if you're one of those people who really wants to get the program done, say in a year, if that's possible for your program, for instance, CJ, we see it a lot, then it's really, really important to look at the course rotation and make a plan with your advisor to finish that program in a year. And if you have questions about whether or not your program can be expedited in that manner, please reach out to your academic advisor as soon as you can to help start making a plan for you. The other thing that you can find right from being on MiloCell are all sorts of forms you need. You can find your intent to graduate form way down the road. You can find a change of major form if you want to maybe add a concentration or change your concentration. Pretty much the take home is this is where you go to get everywhere. So the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and I feel like it might be linked on here, is Canvas. Are we able to visit that, Caroline? Okay. I think we're going to go there right now. Okay, awesome. So Canvas is where you go to actually participate in your courses. And as Candace mentioned, Candace Obrazov, I know it sounded like I said Canvas again, but as Candace Obrazov mentioned, your courses were all supposed to be open last week for Fall Main and Fall 1. So we very rarely run into any problems with that, but if you don't see your course, now or till the end of your program, let us know, because they're always supposed to open a week early so that you can go in, you can look at your syllabus, and you can start to plan. So this is what Caroline's Canvas dashboard looks like. Everybody's dashboard is different because it depends on what classes you take. So every single little square there is a class. So for instance, you're probably not going to have faculty governance unless you maybe happen to be a staff member. But this right here that Caroline just clicked into is our self-paced tutorial. You should all have that, and that course should never go away. So whenever you want to refer back to it the whole time throughout your program, it should be there. And it's basically a mock course that you can go through and practice with. So over on the left, you'll see little links, discussions, pages, grades, you can go down the list, and you can just practice as if you were in an actual course. The other kind of quick link I wanted to point out over there is Starfish. Starfish, you can use that link to directly make an appointment with your advisor, with pretty much any office around campus once you get in there and poke around. And the other great thing about Starfish is it takes you into appointments with the Academic Achievement Center. So something we were talking about earlier was like using resources and setting time aside for yourself, to succeed. And the Academic Achievement Center can really help there because they offer free tutoring. Regardless of your program, the tutoring is free. You can do it completely remotely. So if you don't live near campus or you're not able to come to campus, that's fine. They can help you with anything from a really specific content, subject area to writing to time management. So in terms of setting yourself up for success, I would really suggest exploring that. There are a lot of time management apps you can download or websites you can look up. But if you go here first to the Achievement Center, these are experts in the field who can help you in the right direction. They might have certain apps that they think are better than others, and they can help you on the path to success. Because as you're starting this journey, we understand that you all are wearing a ton of different hats, and part of your success is going to be able to, dependent on you being able to carve out time for yourself. So I really just wanted to put a plug in to explore Starfish and make an appointment with the AAC. And now I think what might be a good place to transition into is going into self-service. You've probably all had a little bit of experience there because you've already added a course, but Caroline can show you, for instance, how to view your academic plan now that you've kind of already crossed that first hurdle.
Hello, everybody. All right, so when you get to self-service, and again, when Liz was walking us through My LaSalle, you can get to self-service. It's that first quick link, and clicking into that will bring you to this page. You're just going to go ahead with logging yourself in. Your menu at the very top will look slightly different because you won't have the staff permissions, but you will have this registration tab right at the top. And if you scroll down, my favorite tool that I'm in every single day, probably 100 times a day, is the academic plan. If you ever don't see your academic plan, or if something doesn't look right, email your advisor and we can either help attach the plan to your account, or we can make sure that the registrar updates it if you had a course substitution or classes that you had transferred and those aren't showing up. All very easy fixes. The great part about the academic plan is it's both a way to track your progress and register. And I like going in to register from classes here because this way you can ensure you're only registering for classes that will actually count towards your degree. You can use the search function, which will bring you to course offerings, but that will show you everything and it won't necessarily be classes that count towards your program. So in this case, under my account, it shows, a graduate certificate. So the degrees will have more under here, but it all looks the same. It all breaks out. So when you get to your page, it's going to look like this. And you just click in and open these little categories. It shows you percentage-wise how much you've completed and what's left. You can also click info and it's going to show you a little bit more information about the credits. And then what's really great here is when you see these classes, they're going to have a little green check mark if they're completed. The green check mark should and will be there if you've had a class transferred. If you have not taken a class, you're not registered, you're going to see this little magnifying glass. And when you click this, and this is why I like the academic plan way of registering, is it'll show you if it's being offered. Management 728 is not. And so I'm going to scroll down. If you're an MBA and a couple other programs, you have options and you'll see the general kind of category COM 7%. And that means you can choose any class within that category. What I love about going through the academic plan is if you're looking for a COM elective, not only is it going to pull up COM electives, but it pulls up fall main, fall 1, fall 2. And so if you're looking for, communications elective in fall 2, all you have to do is click in right there and it's going to show you every single class that's running. You can add it. You can see how many seats are left, who's teaching it. You can click into the class itself and it'll give you more information. And this is all right from your academic plan. And again, this is a great way to just ensure you're only registering for classes that you need. Yeah. And if you do add a class, I will say, let me go add. Let's take COM 705. You hit add from right here. You see it'll give you a confirmation screen. And then just kind of like you're shopping on like Old Navy or something, you click right up in this little cart and you'll have a number. The important thing is hitting add is not finalizing your registration. So if you leave your classes in your cart and a bunch of other students register, you might end up on a wait list for a course. So you definitely want to finish the whole registration process. And the thing I always try to stress is you can pay later. The payment due dates aren't until typically about 2 weeks out from the start of a session. So when registration opens up months and months in advance, you can register and then deal with the payment later. And all you have to do to go in and finalize that is hit the register button. And it'll think for a little while. If you haven't already signed, electronically signed the financial agreement, that'll pop up. And just make sure that you understand the terms. The system's being a little slow, but after this, you would confirm your registration. Boom, there we go. All right, so it says congrats. And then if you make a mistake, which is fair, it's super easy to drop. Again, you just go right back into the cart. It's going to bring you to the screen that we're currently at. And there's that little trash can next to the course. And you just hit the trash can, hit drop course, and ta-da, easy peasy.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And one thing I also wanted to add just while we're on this page, another cool thing about self-service is there's a shortcuts link way over to the right that has a syllabus library. So a lot of times I get the question, especially, about like a winter intensive course, maybe someone says, how much work actually is it? Can I really handle this? And those would be the situations where I would say, head into the syllabus library, look for a syllabus from last year's winter intersession and see if, there's one listed and see what you think. We do try to have a copy of every single course in there. But if there's ever one that you can't find, we would try to track it down. But this, if you're looking into an elective or things like that, you can look in and see past syllabi from past courses so that you can make a decision that will work for you.
Forgot this was me. So after all of that, how are you going to remember all this is really what it comes down to, right? It seems like so much information. Great suggestion we have is to bookmark everything. All these pages that Caroline just showed you and Liz just talked about are very important for your academics. So it'd be good to bookmark everything. It'll make it a lot easier for you to be able to find things and search and be able to get to them easily.
Yeah, so definitely bookmark. And that page in particular, and I think Caroline just shared it in the chat, but I didn't read, she did. Okay. That page in particular that Santoya mentioned to bookmark, definitely can't stress that enough. That's our new student orientation page. It has like to-do lists for new students. So for instance, oh, Caroline's going there, great. So new student to-do list. One of the big ones, forward your LaSalle email to your personal email. Super, super important. I know, trust me, as much as the next person, I don't want to be checking multiple emails. I totally get it. But pretty much from this point forward, any official correspondence from LaSalle, so that means registrar, financial aid, student accounts, it's going to go to your LaSalle email. Down the line, when you're getting ready to graduate, everything about graduation, everything like that, it's all going to go to your LaSalle email. So if you don't want to have to check more than one, definitely forward it to your personal. And then everything else, it has to-do list, changing your password, paying your bill, pretty much anything you need. Also, on this page, there is a link to the Canvas tutorial, and there's a link to different YouTube videos that Caroline created that are 2 to 3 minutes long about things like adding and dropping classes, viewing your plan right there. Perfect. So if you just favorite this one page, first off, not only will it take you to My LaSalle, so and then you'll also have My LaSalle there for you, but this will show you everything you need to know. And then of course, your advisor is just an email, phone call, text away. So the last thing we have, that's just a survey up at the top. It takes seriously 20 seconds. If you wouldn't mind filling it out, the reason why we do it is because we do want to get feedback on all of our different programs that we do, see how we can make them better. So if anyone's able to attend the library, for instance, session, we'll send this out again. And we will have a program every single month in addition to the drop-in hours. So there's always going to be opportunities to see us and learn about LaSalle. And also, if you have an idea of something you would like to see or something you would like to brush up on that you think would help you, please let us know. We're always looking for suggestions. And with that, I think that's going to end, the formal presentation part. Does anybody have questions about anything we said, or does anybody